All right, at this point we are happy with the sanding of the radius of our fretboard. It feels really nice and smooth. So this is ready to be attached to the neck so that we can start to flush trim and make them match. We can do things like adding our inlay markers and eventually actually add our frets to this. So it's really important that we get these two pieces of wood glued together in exactly the right position relative to one another. We really want to avoid our fretboard sliding in this direction because then it would be the wrong distance from our nut to our bridge on the body we've already made. And we want to avoid it from rotating like this because then we wouldn't have common center lines throughout our guitar and it'd be possible to intonate. So how do we do that? Well, of course, when we've got our truss rod in there, we'll cover it with tape. When we apply glue, that glue, when you go to clamp it, things like to slip and slide along each other, and we really want to avoid that. So there's a great trick I like. I prefer to do it with a piece of a small finishing nail, but I don't have any handy, so we're going to use this little cotter pin instead. The idea is we're going to create two little pins somewhere in this neck that are sticking up. And we're going to very carefully align these two pieces of wood together and then press down so those pins mark themselves on this piece of wood. We'll drill out holes for those pins to sit in, and then we'll actually apply our glue, and then those pins will work as alignment pins, and we'll have this notch right down into place, and that'll keep them from sliding along one another when we go to apply the glue. What I'm going to do is just cut a few millimeters off of this cotter pin here. Doesn't need all that much. And then I like to get my hands out of the way, just use some pliers to hold it. And we're gonna go somewhere down in this meaty part of the heel of the neck and just tap that into place. Okay, so I'm just leaving, maybe 2 millimeters of that sticking up, just enough that it'll be able to bite into that fretboard without needing a huge cavity drilled out of the back. So that looks pretty good. I went ahead and stuck this neck down to the table for this process. It's just easier if it's not sliding around. So I'm gonna cut a few more millimeters off of that same cotter pin, and we'll do the same thing opposite corner at the other end of the neck. I'm gonna do it north of the first fret so that we're not kind of in this smaller area where there's less wood because we had to cut it for the truss rod channel. There we go, perfect. So we've got our two pins. And now importantly, I've marked the center line at either end of the fretboard. And on the neck, I've got my first fret line, nut line, and the 12th fret line, all as indicators. So those lines along the side of the neck tell me in this direction if I'm correct. And then I can match the center lines to know in this direction, am I correct? And start by kind of lining up that first fret line with the first fret on the fingerboard. Great. And over there we're in the ballpark. Gonna start kind of just getting in the ballpark, and then we're gonna get quite precise. So here I'm gonna look down the length and make sure that that center line hits my center line here, and we'll do the same at the other end where I've got it marked. It's a little tricky to see on this walnut, but that looks good. My fretboard should be oversized a little bit. It should be overhanging the neck in all areas just a little bit along both sides. And when I'm happy with where that's located, which I think I am, I'm just going to very carefully, without sliding it, apply some pressure over top of both of those pins. That's gonna make two little gouge marks in the back of my fretboard. There's one of them right there, and the other is right down there. So I may actually just circle those so they're easier to spot. Those are the exact locations of the pin when this is in the right spot. So what I'm gonna do is take a drill and very carefully drill out a little cavity there, in there that's just a bit bigger than that and does not go all the way through. I don't wanna pop out the other side. But that's gonna allow this to then sit down flush with the neck, and exactly, you can actually, I just felt it click into place. Right there, that's what it should feel like. So when I go to apply my clamps and my gluing, they're not gonna wanna slide along each other. Of course, we're gonna make sure we put a little tape over the truss rod when we apply glue. We don't wanna glue this truss rod in place, we just want the glue on the wood to wood surfaces. But that is kind of the essentials of how we get ready to connect our fretboard and our neck into one singular piece that we can then flush, trim, and sand and make a lot more refined, and it will be ready to go onto the guitar. All right, so I actually already drilled these, but what that looked like was I had my drill bit that is just slightly bigger in diameter than the cotter pin or whatever I'm using as my locating pin. And I really delicately lined it up with my notch mark and then just spun it and made a little hole. That hole only needs to be deep enough that it's a little deeper than the amount of stick out I have here. So I've got to completely contain that. I want these to be a tight fit, so you may have to test it and come back a couple times. That's good. If they're too big, oversized in diameter or location, then you'll have slop and it won't really work the way we described it to work. So I've verified now when I go and line this up, it's really quite satisfying. It notches down onto those and there's not much play at all. It's really important that those holes that I drilled be deep enough that there's not like some little gap here. If there is a gap there, it's likely to stay when you go to glue this together because that metal is pushing into this hard maple. So make sure those are just deep enough that there's no gap. And I'm checking all along the outside. Everything looks really good. So we're ready for the next step before we glue. So I'm gonna set that apart, and I like to put a little piece of tape. There are a lot of people who do this different ways, but I'm just gonna take a piece of tape, and this is gonna actually be a permanent part of the inside of this guitar. No one will ever see it, but it'll always be there. So we're just gonna run that over our truss rod, and this is to protect so we don't actually accidentally get glue in the truss rod and glue it into place. So I like to cut off some of the excess. I'm just kind of feeling around. There's the end of this. I'm not worried about scoring up that part of the neck with this razor blade because it'll never be seen. I'm gonna leave this long. I can just cut it away later. And then some of these, I don't need this full width of this tape, so I'm gonna cut a little closer to the channel. And this doesn't need to be super precise. I'm just making more room for glue to do its thing. Kind of same thing on the other side. We'll thin that up a little closer to where the truss rod is. Such a nice fit, I can hardly feel the line between them actually. There we go. And if you feel so inclined, again, like this blue tape is going to be in there forever, but no one will ever be able to see it because it'll be hidden between the two. So you can always write a little message if you want, and that's there forever. Okay, this is now ready for glue. So we're going to apply glue to all this wooden surface area. You're not going to intentionally put it on the blue tape. If you get some, no harm done. Some people peel that off right before they attach them. I just don't see a need to. So we're going to apply glue just to that. And then we're going to line these up just like you saw using those little locating pins and then clamp them down.